Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're deconstructing something really special. It's called the Candlestick Ascent, and it's this incredibly cinematic look into how a struggling trader actually evolves into a methodical master of the financial markets. Look, if complex charts and massive data overload have ever left you feeling completely trapped, well, you're in the right place. We're going to visually map out exactly how to turn all that chaotic noise into absolute freedom.
But first, what separates the broken trader from the elite? Let's picture the nightmare scenario that kicks off our source material. Imagine a pitch-black room literally only illuminated by the harsh glare of multiple computer monitors. And across those screens, heavy losses. Red candlestick charts just plunging downward, right in the middle of a massive market crash. The trader sitting there is totally exhausted, stressed to the absolute max, staring at these charts late into the night while dramatic rain is just streaking down the window pane outside. It's an incredibly emotional, incredibly high-stress atmosphere. You can practically feel the frustration radiating off the desk. So looking at this, we really have to ask the critical question. What actually separates the trader trapped in this chaotic dark room from the elite professionals who thrive?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Turning Point. Mastering Technical Analysis.
Escaping that dark room, it doesn't happen by accident. It requires a seriously rigorous foundation. The source outlines a really deep curriculum for this. We're talking about moving way beyond just basic price action. It gets into strict risk management, precise trend lines, and arguably the ultimate hurdle for anyone, market psychology. These overflowing notebooks they're studying, they aren't just study guides. They're literally the trader's weapons against market volatility. They are building a professional foundation from the absolute ground up, entirely replacing guesswork with a concrete, deeply researched strategy.
Which brings us to Section 2, Discipline, the new daily routine.
Notice the stark behavioral contrast here. It's like night and day. On one hand, you have our struggling beginner. They're exhausted, barely surviving on these late nights, making super emotional decisions while hunched over this incredibly chaotic desk. But then, look at the reality of a professional. They actually embrace early mornings. They cultivate a strictly disciplined mindset, and they work at a pristine, clean setup. Clearing all that physical clutter, it directly creates the mental clarity you need to finally analyze realistic financial charts without carrying around the heavy burden of emotional fatigue.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact workflow that emerges from that disciplined mindset. Step 1, wake up early and get some exercise to build up that crucial mental clarity. Step 2, methodically analyze realistic market data with dynamic focus. You aren't just blindly reacting to red candles anymore, right? You're actually analyzing the data. And step 3, patiently wait for high probability setups. Just think about that word for a second, patiently. This is the trader's new, highly professional workflow before they even think about executing a single trade.
All right, moving on to Section 3, The Arsenal, Executing Profitable Trades.
The very first crucial concept in this arsenal is the risk-to-reward ratio. Now, I know it sounds like basic math, but actually it's so much more. It's the foundational tool that replaces emotional gambling with, well, cold-blooded decision-making. By calculating the exact balance between potential loss and potential profit beforehand, the professional guarantees logical entries and exits every single time. Honestly, before a trade is ever even placed, the trader knows exactly what they are risking in exchange for a very specific potential gain.
Next up is the stop loss. You probably already know that it automatically exits a losing trade, but strategically, this is the ultimate defensive shield against that nightmare market crash we talked about earlier. It completely removes the anxiety of a catastrophic loss by hardwiring a safety net directly into the execution strategy. It essentially takes the fear and all that heavy emotion completely out of a losing position.
Now, on the flip side of that defense is the take profit. It is incredibly easy to let greed just totally take over when those candles turn green and your account balance is shooting up. But setting a strict, predetermined target ensures the trader actually captures their hard-earned money once a trend is confirmed. It locks in the win without any of the second guessing. They just let the market hit their target, they secure the win, and they move on. Simple as that. Which leads us nicely into Section 4, the ultimate reward. Sunrise over the skyline. The document wraps up with this incredibly epic scene. The trader is standing confidently on a rooftop, looking out over this futuristic skyline right at sunrise, totally surrounded by glowing profit indicators. It's awesome, but the absolutely crucial takeaway here is understanding the true cost of this freedom. Patience, discipline, education, consistency. Make no mistake, this view, It wasn't achieved through some random stroke of luck. It was bought and paid for through these 4 unshakable pillars.
There's a quote here that just perfectly encapsulates the core insight of our explainer today. Financial freedom is achieved through patience, discipline, education, and consistency. It completely validates the trader's incredible journey. I mean, to go from that stressful underworld of crashing red charts and dramatic rainy nights to standing in the golden sunlight on top of the world, it requires a total rewiring of how you approach the market, and ultimately it changes how you approach your own habits and your daily routines.
So that brings us to one final question for you to really ponder as you look at your own goals. Whether you're analyzing financial data, learning a complex new skill, or building a career, are you just relying on luck, kind of hoping the market moves in your favor? Or are you actively building your discipline, studying the mechanics, and managing your risk like a true professional? The blueprint for the ascent is right here in front of you. The execution? Well, that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.